So the buyers want me to pay their closing cost? What does that mean? Let's talk about it. So you got an offer on your house, but the buyer is asking you to pay their closing costs. Now, you're already paying most of the closing costs, so that doesn't seem fair, but let's talk about the situation. So a buyer brings you an offer asking you to pay closing costs. What we want to keep in mind as sellers is our net. What are we going to walk away with at the end of the transaction? And so a lot of times we can negotiate, maybe the buyer comes up on their offer a little bit, so we can offer them more closing costs. We'll net the same amount, but the buyer has less money out of pocket when they close because they're financing more. And so we want to focus on driving your net up as high as you can, driving the amount of money that you walk away with at closing up as high as we can. But a lot of buyers in our market need closing cost assistance in order to purchase your home. And so a lot of times it's going to be unavoidable. We're going to have to pay some closing costs to get a good offer to sell the house. And so keep in mind, we're trying to meet your needs and the buyer's needs. So we want to just make sure those numbers work. So if it's a higher purchase price so we can afford to give them the closing costs, then that's what it is. Keep in mind though, on raising the purchase price, if they need closing costs, they're obviously getting a financed offer, right? They're getting a mortgage. And if we push the contract price above where it appraises, then the house isn't going to appraise for what it needs to for them to buy it. And so we can push our price up, but we don't want to push it past a point where it may not appraise and run into appraisal issues. So that's definitely a balance that we want to keep, and it's not straightforward because nobody knows what the house is going to appraise for until the appraiser comes out and does the appraisal. But keep in mind, don't get thrown off by buyers asking for closing cost assistance. Most buyers need it, and it's fairly normal in our market. When we do our CMA and when we do our market analysis, we want to look at what the average price houses are selling for, but we also want to look at what the average seller concessions are, like how much are sellers paying for closing costs, because that's going to be on there too. So again, don't get thrown off by it. It's pretty normal. We just want to get you the number that's going to win for you.